Can I disagree with the Bible? I mean, honestly, there are a lot of things we could disagree on. For example, in 1 Samuel chapter 15, verses 1 to 3, God told King Saul to kill all the Amalekites. Yeah, that's genocide in today's terms, but God said so, right? Or if you look at the way men and women were obviously not considered to be equal in the Bible, but in today's terms, they are equal in many societies, and more people are kind of going into that. So, I mean, and you guys probably know a lot more things that we can disagree on the Bible with, but there are certain implications that disagreeing with the Bible comes with, and I'm going to talk about them in this video and explain the effects that they'll have on a relationship with God that we might be interested in building. So basically, there are two implications that disagreeing with the Bible has, and they're the following. One, by disagreeing with the Bible, you are inferring that the Bible was not inspired and that maybe there are certain aspects of it that are actually incorrect, and that we, in today's society and with our own human minds, we can reason through the Bible and find errors in it that, we feel we have a better opinion on. And the thing is, in 2 Timothy chapter 3, verses 16 and 17, Paul actually said all scripture is given by inspiration of God and is profitable for doctrine, for reproof, for correction, for instruction in righteousness, that the man of God may be perfect, thoroughly furnished unto all good works. We're assuming that that isn't true if we actually disagree with the Bible. That's one thing. The other thing we might infer is that God himself actually isn't wise, and that we can actually find things that are not right about God. I mean, I've seen people call God, an evil dictator, murderer. A lot of people have said things, but you get the point. The fact that there's something that we think is not right about God and that we feel we know better than him in a way. And the issue is that the Bible portrays God as someone who is all-knowing, is supreme, is sovereign, if you read Psalm 95 verse 3. And whatever reasoning faculty we have to be able to judge between right and wrong, God has that 1,000,000 times more. If you read Psalm 94 verses 9 and 10, the psalmist said, "He that made the ear or the eye, will he not hear and see? He that made the brain, will he not be able to think?" And in Isaiah chapter 55, verses 8 and 9, God uses Isaiah the prophet to tell us that his ways, his thoughts are much higher than ours. So to say that something God said or did is not right would be inferring we actually have a higher understanding than him. And Paul kind of discussed that idea of having those kinds of feelings in Romans chapter 9 verse 20, where he said, "Nay, but oh man, who art thou that thou repliest against God? Shall the thing formed say to him that formed it, why hast thou made me thus?" If you also read Isaiah chapter 29 verse 16 and chapter 45 verse 9, you see the same kind of idea of the creation feeling wiser than the creator. And in Job chapter 40 verse 8, God had even told Job, "Wilt thou also disannul my judgment? Wilt thou condemn me that thou mayest be righteous?" That's what disagreeing with the Bible kind of does. But that isn't even the biggest problem. The biggest problem is that if we are Christians and we're interested in serving God, disagreeing with the Bible actually sets us back. Because let me give you an example. If you are getting married, or maybe you want to be friends with somebody, just get into any kind of relationship. But at the beginning of the relationship, the first thing you guys notice is that you guys don't agree about anything. You don't agree about life. You don't agree about religion. You don't agree about politics. Everything, you just disagree about it. That isn't really a good foundation for a relationship of any kind, right? This may remind us of what Amos the prophet said in Amos chapter 3 verse 3. "Can two walk together except they be agreed?" So see that as if you want to build a relationship with God, you want to be his child, you want to serve him and so on, and then the first thing you're doing is disagreeing. I don't know, that just isn't really a great foundation. I think giving God the benefit of the doubt would allow us to, first of all, get close to him, and then he can explain why he did certain things or said certain things in the Bible so that we can understand his views and accept them, right? If you read Psalm 119 verse 128, the psalmist had given God the benefit of the doubt there. He said, "Therefore I esteem all thy precepts concerning all things to be right, and I hate every false way." And as Paul told us in Philippians chapter 3 verse 15, if we're humble, God will explain everything to us. He said, "Let us therefore, as many as be perfect, be thus minded. And if in anything ye be otherwise minded, God shall reveal even this unto you." So I think that answers the question as to whether we can disagree with the Bible. God isn't going to punish us if we do that, but if we want to actually develop a strong relationship with Him, the best first step is to first of all assume that God knows best, and then He can teach us the rest. It even rhymes. Anyway, if you learned something new today, then I would appreciate if you click the subscribe button, and if you want to be notified when we come back with another video, just like the one you finished listening to, then you can click the notification bell. Have a good day, and I'd like to see you in the next video.